Hello and welcome to oNiD Racing 2022 GT3 Series. I'm Cammy Sturch and I'm here in the commentary booth once again with oNid's own Pegleg Adam. Hello, how are you?
Apart from being a peg leg, I'm absolutely fine, thank you. Good evening.
I saw that on the Discord name and I thought, well, I can't not use that, can I?
No, well, I've got to try and make light of the situation, really, haven't I?
How are you enjoying this wonderful weather we've got at Barcelona? Everyone comes here for holidays, but as you can see, it is grey and miserable.
Just the kind of conditions I enjoy racing in, actually. I love different conditions and mixing it up and having something thrown in there that could just change the order a little bit. And you know what? I get a little bit bored sometimes of seeing series that are insistent on fixed weather conditions in the dry all the time, just for fear of people not wanting to drive in the wet. It's more like real life, and I welcome the rain. Then
It's
again, I am British.
a welcome curveball for some drivers. It can be a bit of an equalizer. Some drivers, maybe with cars not so well suited to the circuit, or maybe they're not so strong on their setup game, it can give them a chance to show off handling rather than maybe their outright pace.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But it's also the kind of conditions that can invite a mistake at any point during the race from anyone. You know, however good you are, it takes something very, very small for you to go and drop it in conditions like this. And, you know, that means that you don't know how the race is going to finish right until the point when they cross the line.
No, that's right. Just to recap for everyone, last week we were racing at Kyalami in South Africa, and the podium was Beeson, Seville, and Mansi. Be right back a moment. I'm getting a knock at the door.
Well, come in, come join us, as you guys are as well. So, welcome to all of you in the chat. So Willie Blackhammer was in there before the stream even went live tonight with a whoop whoop. Heike van der Veen, hello indeed. Rydav with a van der Veen. So some good support for Heike there. Willie's pretty convinced it's going to be Danny Medina on pole tonight. D-Stack says Lego, which I'm assuming has got something to do with me, so you, sir, can be quiet. Rydav is expecting a masterclass from Bukov. He's only here for Johnny to bin it on the warm-up lap. Dan, make sure that we give Johnny a follow on the warm-up lap this week, because he did bin it last week. If he does it live on stream, I will never let him forget it. Apex, Mr. Ralph Vest, thank you very much for joining us. Zara Racer 76 following as well. So thank you very much, and supporting Van Royen. You're a first-time viewer as well, so great to see you. And Pep R, hello. So yes, plenty of you already with us.
I'm back. Apologies for that.
Was it anything exciting?
Food on fire. Well, food burning. So
Food
burns.
on fire. Okay.
It wasn't quite on fire, but it's very black. Yeah, I must have set the oven too high, and what I thought wouldn't be done for another sort of 15 minutes was actually already just black. So
I did that the other week, but it was something in a plastic container, and it just melted the plastic container, and that was it, done.
oh, so I've not eaten all day actually, and I thought I'd squeeze a meal in, but hey ho, I'll get through.
You can always eat charcoal.
Yeah, it was basically like that. As I was saying that the top three last week was made up of Beeson, Seville, and Mansi, but of course they did that in the dry. So whether it be the same podium this weekend with the wet weather, if they can do it again, it would be a testament to their skill. But it does invite the chance for other drivers to make their way onto the podium.
Indeed, it does. And qualifying is underway. So, just a reminder for anyone who wasn't with us last week, there are 3 classes in this GT3 World Series. There is AM, Silver, and then Pro. So it's a 30-minute qualifying session. The first 10 minutes is all the AMs, and then the second 10 minutes is all the Silvers, and then the third 10 minutes is Pros. So you will see the top of the timing sheet change all the way through this session.
That's it. And the different classes have been decided upon with it. We had a couple of evaluation races just to see what everyone can do. So everyone's in a class of people with similar skills, similar experience. So it gives everyone a chance to, have victories in their class, as as they do with the recent Daytona 24. You have different classes based on drivers' abilities. You have GT3 Pro, GT3 Am, as well as they have LMP cars, which we don't.
No, exactly. I mean, just to elaborate a little on how they end up in the classes that they do, it's actually quite scientific. There is, and I'm not going to reveal all the secrets. One, because I don't understand all the secrets, and two, because Willie would kill me. But one of the community managers here at oNiD, Willie Blackhammer, because he can't spell, created what we now refer to as the spreadsheet of doom, which took all of the times from the evaluation races, all of the data from the evaluation races, ran them through some kind of funky code that then spits out the splits. And then there's a couple of little adjudications in there as well, where there's close calls between some. And that's how we determine who goes into what split.
That's made me wonder how they organise it with real world racing. I'm a fan of Formula One, and such categories don't exist, so it always baffles me, like, how do they decide who's an Am and who's a Pro? Is it down to experience, or is it purely down to the lap times they can do? Because it sounds like you could then fudge your lap time and sort of be a winner of Am rather than a loser of Pro, as we see Medina really really going wide onto the AstroTurf there.
Well, it's like he took the
down
new
10.
Formula One circuit line there.
Yes, yeah. And
Uh,
what the big shame is the Barcelona circuit has the little sort of turn 13, 14, 15, the strange little chicane, which I really wish
it needs to go.
It needs to go.
Yeah, it's horrendous. I mean, look, I kind of understand why they did it for Formula One at the time, because it was getting very, very quick, through the final couple of corners. But they could have done something else, like tighten up the previous corner rather than chucking in a horrendous chicane. Switch us back to the MotoGP layout. That's one of the things I love about Assetto Corsa, is I can run the MotoGP layout and take the chicane out.
It does. Nobody uses that chicane as an overtaking opportunity. Maybe in MotoGP they could, ironically, but these, Formula One cars, GT3 cars, it's just too small a fiddly little chicane that was an obvious afterthought for the circuit. So it's a shame, as we see all of the drivers are doing sub 2 minute times. Only Sam Rowton is in the 153s, 2 seconds ahead of Bokamp at the moment, and another second on top of that in front of Van der Veen. So he's really dominating the session, as Medina's almost 2 seconds up on their current best, which is a 159.5. Seeing quite a few in the green, so it might be a few exciting movers if there maybe a dry line starts to develop.
You'd really expect Gabby Samoas to be a lot higher up than he is at the moment as well. Gabby and I had a couple of interesting races in the evaluations. Back when I had 2 functioning legs. But he's a quick guy. So let's see where this lap time puts him as we now move into the second block of qualifying. So these guys just finishing their lap off in Am. And the silver drivers will be pouring out onto the circuit. You can see on the track map on the right-hand side there, the first sector is full of silver drivers heading around on their outlap.
So we've got as Jimmy Broadbent would say, got a gaggle of cars making their way around Seat and Repsol and Seat. I'm trying to use the corner names. I'm making an effort to use the corner names.
Congratulations.
Formula One have got into this habit of saying 1, 2, turn 4. It's like, no, say the names.
Absolutely. As you do see Gabby Samoas go third. with 56.3. Dan, there's a couple of comments in chat about mics sounding a bit quiet, so I don't know whether that's me or whether that's Cammy's mic. Quite possibly mine, because I think last week you had to turn me down because I was on a headset, whereas I'm back on a proper mic this week. So we should get Mr. Dan Hyde from Caden Computers, who's not only doing all of the technicals of the streaming for this, but he's also the title sponsor of the stream as well, and the whole league. So Dan will work his magic. Oh, apparently it's both mics are a little quiet. So Dan,
yes, we need to. I can't shout too loudly. I have neighbours. As we, not the Australian terrible TV show. But,
whoa, terrible.
Well,
I used to live on that show. I mean, I haven't watched it for donkey's years now, but oh dear.
Well, coming around the final corner to start their first flying laps now, we're following Rudolf Stein in the BMW M4 GT3. Nice burgundy, black and silver livery as we ride on board on the correct side, on the right side, what should be the driver's side of the car as they head through the Elf chicanes, turn 1 and 2, and through onto the Renault curve. Keeping a nice tight line through there at the moment. Says it on your screen, it will say he's 2 seconds slower and his best is a 21 minute, but that is just a quirk of the game software as he's just done an outlap and been in the pits. So it's kind of counted his in the pit time as his lap time. So just ignore that and that'll all correct itself in a moment.
Yeah, you really won't be able to tell what's going on until these guys have finished their first flyer, which won't take too long. But we had 12 AMs set a time, so good to see a nice healthy grid of AMs and a similar split of silvers and pros tonight as well. So, and Dan, you've twiddled your knob, and apparently it's way better now. So that's good job.
That's some professional knob twiddling.
Well, let's hope it was professional.
Well, he's knob twiddled for motorsport games, I have, you know.
He has indeed. As James Suckling sets a new fastest lap, 1:53.6.
He got very close to Montoya as well. I don't know if he did knob twiddling for Montoya. But...
Not quite.
And also, very briefly, appeared in Jimmy Broadbent's stream.
Did. But he wasn't in control of that stream, were you, Dan?
I was not.
But you are in control of this one, and we are so glad to see that. Let's see what Stein does across the line. He goes third. Suckling, Broughton is still second at the moment.
Yeah. I wonder if there'd be cause for thinking maybe seating Roughton in a different class, maybe? Or just... I mean, I know we can't say this every time one driver outshines the rest of their class, but... Yeah, he's miles ahead. He's really in there with the silvers at the moment, isn't he?
He is, yeah. I mean, it may be that in the wetter conditions, it takes a couple of laps to get the tyres into range. I'm not sure what the temps are out on track, but it may be that they're just having to really get a couple of laps under their belt to find the grip levels.
And with you've got more experience with ACC than I do. Do you find there are certain cars that are great in the dry become a real handful in the wet, and suddenly, the best car for handling completely changes?
There can be some variations, yeah. I mean, I feel for Derek Stack, who's driving the Porsche, which is a handful at the best of times, but I've always stuck with only a couple of different cars for myself, and I always found the Lexus was good in dry and wet, but really I would expect any Bentleys tonight to be in particularly good shape, nice and stable, and it'll be interesting to see how the BMW gets on. We know obviously it got nerfed a little bit in the update, but again, another super stable car, and those stable cars with a solid back end, they're the ones that you want for conditions like this, in my mind.
Yeah, I've been doing a bit of practice for another series in the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo, and let me tell you, with the mid-engine layout, that is a really twitchy car when you have to sort of quickly get the weight left then right through a chicane. Sometimes it just doesn't want to do it, and it will throw the back end out. If anyone has any tips or setups for the Lambo Huracan, I'd be very welcome to take those off your hands.
One huge tip: choose a different car.
Uh, I knew that. I thought that was coming.
You
But
can blame that
unfortunately,
car choice
my
on me.
hands are tied. Yes, it's racing with Casual Apex alongside Dan for it'll be at Imola, and I love Imola, but as soon as I try and yeah.
Lambo's entertaining. We're watching the boss man at the moment, by the way, Johnny Ashley, who he's in the AMG Merc.
Oh, I thought Stack was going to come back across on him there.
No, never, Derek. No, but Johnny in the AMG, that may be a solid choice for tonight. Can be a touch understeery. So that could either be a benefit tonight or not. The only thing is, slippery conditions are not normally Johnny's friend. He has a right foot that's heavier than the Titanic, so yeah, he might find these wetter conditions a little bit of a struggle tonight.
45,000 tons. Wow.
Please tell me you just looked that up and didn't know that off by heart.
No, I actually knew that off by heart. Of everything you picked something that I didn't know the weight of. I was going to say, but
anything else heavy at the time, apart from myself, obviously.
yeah, I suppose there are bigger ships, and they'll need a ship to get through some of these conditions with the water out there. You see what I did there? I made the link.
I do, and normally there would be a great link to our good friend Thomas Stocks here, because he is famous in the chats for when he can't get a car to turn, saying "turn your boat." But unfortunately, Tom is a little unwell tonight, so I have to pull out. So, Tom, if you are catching the stream from your sick bed, then get well soon, sir.
Get well soon.
Just checking back into the chat as well. Jimbo Mancy's here, obviously sat in the pits, waiting to get going, and he wishes me the best of luck for tomorrow. I'm not sure what for. And the following comment, hope they find that missing. Yeah,
That's quite ominous when someone just wishes you luck for tomorrow, but nothing's happening tomorrow.
I think he thinks that I'm. Yes, it's Thursday, sir, that I've got my surgery. But much appreciated for your good wishes. Thank you.
I also wish you luck with the next 24 hours.
Thanks. Although nothing's happening in the next 24 hours.
Well, he did it, so I'm doing it.
I have to go and have a COVID swab tomorrow to make sure that I'm not going to take any disease into hospital with me.
Oh, they're fun. And of course, drivers here, we've got a clean pit paddock. Every driver has to absolutely not test because they're sat at home, usually on their own, comfy, on their ass. No social, they're socially isolated creatures anyway, sim racers. So
aren't we just?
Perfectly fine. Yeah, I can say that I am one. As we see Peter Jelinek pull over there as the silver part of the qualifying comes to an end and the pros make their way out on circuit now. 10 minutes left.
So interestingly, Sam Roughton has stayed second overall.
Very
That's
sus.
a really, really solid drive. Especially given that the car in third, I think I just saw, was JB, Julian Bell, who we know is quick. And he's Swedish, so he should be good in slippery conditions, right? So for Sam to still be up in second, that's a really, really solid result for him as we move into the final 10 minutes, and that means that we get the pros out on track.
Just noticed we've not fixed Shane Watt's name.
Well, it could be that
three C's, but
it could be that his name is actually Shane Watt.
It could. Yeah, it may well be. He's a third of a second up at the moment as he's coming down straight.
He made up 1/10 for each T in his name.
He was
Rydav
really out
says,
there late, wasn't he, for a silver?
he was, yeah. I mean, Rydav says, by the way, it's one hell of an assumption to assume that sim racers are souls that spend a bit more time at home. But he said, but it's correct. And Mr. Ralph Fest, not salty at all, saying, yeah, it was a dry lap for Rowton. I don't think so, sir. But yeah, he says, good for him. Hope he can stay up there. Absolutely, Sam's a really solid guy, and does plenty of racing here with us, oNiD. Hiker van der Veen in the chat as well, saying he's well happy with fourth in AM class. So you should, sir. You had a great night in rookies the other night. Good night for you so far as well. Great to see some of you guys improving. And Princess JT, good evening. Welcome to tonight's stream.
Sorry, we have royalty here.
Oh yes, yeah. The princess is here most evenings, so always good to have her along. And Jacques Morel, now he's back in the pits, is I think feeling pretty chuffed with fifth right now, and also rocks that fantastic retro Apple computer livery as well that he had in the rookies the other night. Great job, sir.
Your Bentleys that you were looking for are out on track now, so it'd be curious to see how well they do.
Absolutely.
Somebody off the going wide there, just letting Parkin go by on his flying lap. Very good of them not to impede his progress at all as he comes around Worth.
Got a feeling, was that Beeson off track possibly? No, there's Beeson just up ahead. So I think we need to keep an eye on Shahabi's lap time. Yes. Dan obviously read my mind and switched to Shahabi. He is one of the guys who you would expect near the point, and he's driving a Bentley, so could be interesting to see what kind of a time Alex puts in.
Indeed, he's just coming through turns 14 and 15, the chicane, coming around the last corner, which according to my map says it's called New Holland, which I didn't know actually.
Has the Lacaisha corner been renamed? Was that a 90s thing, or does that still exist?
I think it still exists, because I knew some corners, but I thought I'll get the map up just to flex, and it said the last corner is called New Holland, which is a...
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. Just try and look for Shahabi. He goes 10th fastest overall, so he's in the top 10, just a, what was that, 5,000th of a second off Vest's time. We're now following Dylan Beeson. I was going to say James Suckling, but we are with Dylan Beeson at the moment as he makes his way through Repsol Corner.
I think looking at the lap times that are coming in from these frankly aliens, we can therefore know with a bit more authority that it's taking a couple of laps for the tyres to come up to temps and pressures tonight, because you would have expected the likes of Beeson and Dixon and Mansi and Shahabi to be up at the point already, and they're not. In fact, it's still James Suckling in pole. So I think it will be this lap or the next lap where we will start to see some big differences.
Yes, last week James Suckling drove very well to 7th position, so it's it's sort of a little unusual to see him up in first. Up in first place at the moment. Beeson did get it a little bit wrong coming out of Repsol. He got a couple wheels on the grass and gravel and wasn't able to get the car across to the other side of the circuit in time, ready for the Sayet corner. So he was sort of off his line and lost a few tenths there. So where through Renault he was a 10th up, he is a third of a second down, and he's going to have to give that another try. He's probably going to get 2 more laps if he doesn't pit in. And there he goes, starting his penultimate lap.
Miles Dixon was massively up, but I think must have invalidated it right at the end of the lap. He was about a second and a half up on his previous best. And do you know what, WVO, you just beat me to that thought. This track looks wetter now than it was at the beginning of qualifying. And I think you're absolutely right, sir. It is raining harder and harder. And that's why we're seeing some of the topsy-turvy grid that we've got. And I tell you what, is that not really exciting for the race?
Absolutely. It's just one of those things, as simulators get more and more realistic, it just throws more and more curveballs that drivers will get in the real world. We don't want dry or just persistent level of wet races. We want the weather to change. We want it to be dynamic. We want these drivers to not know what's going to happen because, these drivers, a few of them may have spotters and may have a friend or a colleague helping them out, but many of them won't be, and they'll just they'll be reading the weather as it lands on their windscreen effectively.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also one of those things that you think back to last week, and we were talking about the track ramping up in pace, and therefore the pro drivers potentially getting the better track because it was getting faster and faster as qualifying went on. This week it's going in the opposite direction if it's getting wetter and wetter. So this really could throw a spanner into a few pro works tonight.
Yeah, and Beeson lost a little bit of time, so he's not able to improve. This is his last chance, and as if the track is getting wetter, it's going to get harder and harder for him to make up any time.
He might just squeeze through for another one after this. If they're
Yes.
153 a lap, he should get to start another one as well.
Yeah, you're of course absolutely right there. As we follow Dixon in the nice bright BMW. Down to Dan in the pit lane.
Yeah, just
I'm
clicking
back.
the wrong buttons.
I thought I'd give you a little cut in, like a Ted Kravitz moment.
So Beeson, I saw just had a flash of purple around his name as he went through a sector. So I assume that means that he set the fastest sector time of anyone there, but seems to have then lost some time subsequently. So there is some pace out there for the quick guys. It's just keeping it on the straight and narrow in these tricky conditions. But Beeson's done well to be up as far as he is, whereas Miles Dixon really struggling down there in 19th overall in the BMW.
I think Beeson would be several tenths of a second up. He's driving beyond the car and the circuit at the moment, but just because of the extra water on the track, all his extra effort is coming to naught, and he needs to gain 2/10 of a second to take the lead. But you can see how hard he's pushing, and we know the level of skill in him as a driver, but he's still just coming up with just zeros or maybe a thousandth of a second up or down. I can't check at the moment. The driver ladder's giving us the stats on Dixon. Thank you very much, Dan. As Beeson's, he's half a second down.
Yeah, I think it's probably that final sector is particularly tricky as it gets wetter and wetter. Some of the big braking zones and acceleration points on the track, they're going to be where you really struggle for traction and grip. So could James Suckling from the silver class be looking at taking an overall pole here, with Sam Roughton of the AM class potentially on the front row?
Yeah, really. I mean, it's just, I say cheeky, but it's just worked out in their favour as to when AM and silver classes go out. It's just worked against the pros, and it really
need to get those two a pair of some tissues for their nosebleeds.
I wondered where that was going then.
Yes, I did. I thought, well, they're not that happy. Surely they got to win the race first.
But also, shout out to Vihan van Rooyen, who is currently 10th overall as well. This is potentially a really mixed up grid. This could be really exciting as Jimmy Mancy gives up on his final lap. He can't do anything about it, and Beeson is 3/10 down. And that time is just climbing. I don't see any green out there. I think James Suckling is going to be our pole man.
I think you're right. Yep, nobody's gaining any time. Beeson's a third of a second down. Seville is, I think he's given up because the number's ticking up quickly. Miles Dixon, I was briefly in the green, but now he's back down 2/10 of a second. So that was it. We're just waiting for those already out on track. There's only 4 people out on track, so everybody else has sort of called it quits and given up. Dylan Beeson's thinking, well, maybe I can get a second back on this last corner if I just do Maybe if I cut this pit lane and then jump... No, I'll just go into the pits, I suppose.
Yeah, it's not like Silverstone where actually he's slightly quicker to get to the line by diving into the pits.
No. And here's our second place man from last week, only able to get 6th on the grid. I burnt my food, so I'm going to quickly grab something in the couple minutes we have.
Well, I'm not going anywhere. I shall be here and always checking in with you in chat as well. And am in top 3. Absolutely. Not just top 3, but second on the front row. I mean, great job for Sam Roughton, but absolutely incredible. So a little bit of a fight between Big Nod and Rydav. Looks like it's a bit tongue-in-cheek, so happy days. Ralph wants to make sure that Ralph doesn't run out of fuel in today's race. Ralph, you might want to tell Ralph that rather than telling the chat about Ralph. Ralph needs to have a word with Ralph, I think. I think I'm taking too many painkillers. I'm losing the plot very quickly. We are at Barcelona. This is some lovely track guide shots from our partners at ACC TV, who provide some of the beautiful overlays for tonight's racing. Unfortunately, the track isn't quite as sunny and warm and beautiful tonight for our drivers. It's still going to be wet come race time. Although Ralph actually says it's dry for the start of the race. Dan, could we just flick back to the grid, please, just to see what the track is like?
And we'll
yeah, no problem. No problem. It gives me a chance to just shout out some of our other league and channel partners. So our league sponsor is Caden Computers. Great job from them providing the practice servers and the streams and some prizes for the winners of each class in this series as well. Big shout out as well, but I would say that, to sim-stuff.com, where you can get yourself affordable, high quality button boxes for your sim racing, and of course oNiD merchandise as well. And simrace247.com is the home of sim racing news. So they are your partners, and you'll notice some other interesting stuff happen over the next week or so. I should say no more than that at this moment in time. But we are back live, and it is dry. It is dry. Now, that means anyone who... It is, and it means that anyone who thought they had an advantage in the wet...
Quickly interrupt you. We've got a driver still in the pits, which is Jim Allen. So it doesn't look like they've made the start.
Jim Allen may have...
Oh, and Jonathan Seville from P6.
Oh, so Seville... In fact, is there... Oh, so car 22 has just got going. Car 22's Ben Brown, is that right?
That is. So he's made a very late entrance to this race. Hot-footed it back to Northampton from Milton Keynes. I hope they managed to get the podium for Cam Sport. But yeah, he's seems to have made the start of the race. He did say to me while I was at Milton Keynes that he would try and make the start of the race.
So let's flip back to Johnny Ashley, please, because I don't think he's binned it yet, but you never know.
I'm back. Apologies for that.
So whilst you've been away, we now have a dry start to the race. We have Ben Brown at the back of the grid joining late doors, and we have 2 cars starting from the pits, including Jonathan Seville, who was right up there last week.
What happened to Jonathan Seville?
Well, either he's forgotten to press the button, or I just wonder whether he is doing some more extensive setup changes, given that it is dry in the race, and looking to see what he can make up. I think he was reasonably low down on the grid qualifying anyway, so...
That would have to be a major setup change to warrant dropping, what was it, 40 places?
Yeah, I don't know where he qualified. I don't think he was hugely high up, but yeah, it's be a difficult start for him.
Yeah, because of course he came second at Kyalami, and I thought I saw him in the top 10 in qualifying. Sort of chat can correct me if I'm wrong there. I thought I saw him in the top 10. I know he was struggling a bit, but as all of the pros were.
We're almost getting ready to congratulate Johnny Ashley for making it all the way round a formation lap. Hasn't quite happened yet, but I think he'd do well to drop it into a wall after this point.
I might have clapped too soon yet. We don't know. As Suckling and Rowton lead the cars around the final corner.
Julian Bell is coming into the pits.
Who's that going in?
Julian Bell is in the pits.
Julian Bell in.
Maybe he accidentally put wet tyres on.
The problem is, you can't enter the pits at this moment in time. He's going to be sat there for a long time as we go racing.
It's go, 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 as the legend once would say. Suckling, Rowton, Beaton, I think they're all 3 wide as they go into the first corner. Mancy's getting in there as well. Who's going to come out on top? We've got Jimmy Mancy's gone from 4th to 2nd. Is he going to hold it? He's going to be on the outside of Renault. He's managed to clear the Red Bull McLaren. And now he's just got the BMW in front of him. But there's a great start there from Mancy.
Suckling in the lead from Mancy. Like you say, a superb start. Sam Rowton there in the red BMW, just trying to keep himself out of trouble as Martin Thorpe slips by.
Yeah, Rowton's absolutely been... He started right at the front, of course, and he's absolutely been robbed, and he's lost about 6 places, it looks like.
Mancy to the inside. That's a brave place to try and make a move, and Suckling isn't for just letting him go, but Mancy gets through into the lead.
Yeah, I think some of these pros are feeling much more confident now that the track's dried up. If they had a dry setup to hand, which most drivers, they will do, they're going to feel much more confident with their machinery now and be able to make up those places. They're going to be saying, oi, Silvers, AMs, no place for you guys. Get back to where you belong.
And Beeson through into 2nd, I think. I'm pretty sure he made it through. Yes, he did. So we've now got 2 pro drivers up in 1st and 2nd. So how quickly can those guys pull away? And then you've got Martin Thorpe and Alex Shahabi, I think, directly behind Suckling, who will be looking to stick with Mancy and Beeson as much as possible. This is riding on board with Martin Thorpe, looking back at that Bentley of Alex Shahabi. We know Alex is quick, and we know that Bentley is quick in a straight line.
It'd be interesting, Dan, if we can get a replay of the start. Just I want to be curious to see how Rowton lost so many places at the start, like where he lost it maybe. But in the meantime, yeah, we are on board with Martin Thorpe, and he's got that Bentley hounding him. And Rowton's down to 8th place now, so he's had the Ferrari of Chris Martin, go past him as well.
Do you know what, though? If I was Sam Rowton, this is exactly what I would be doing. I would not be fighting a single one of these drivers because, look, 2nd place in AM is down in 23rd. That's Hurst. That's the guy he's fighting. So, you know, stay out of trouble. Let these guys go past. Don't lose any time and keep things going. And you're looking good for a strong finish in AM.
Of course. But as a matter of pride, maybe, because it seems like he's really outracing the rest of the AM class. It might be even cause for a promotion at some point. He's so many places out, like 16, 17 places. Quick maths can't do it. above the next AM car, as Suckling's being hounded by the nice and stable Bentley. Bentley's obviously they can ride the bumps and curbs very nicely, I'm told by Dan, in ACC. And really, is that Shahabi going for the move in corner 13? What a move! 13, lucky for some, as Shahabi makes the move stick, and he is up into the podium places.
So he's not only that, away. But on the previous lap, he must have got past Martin Thorpe as well. As you see, Grant Kit with Derek Stack and a couple of the BMWs just behind there having a right old battle. So yeah, Vihan Van Rooyen and Lucas Veeman there, but with Ralph Vest mixing it up as well, getting involved.
Yeah, as we move forward through the field, 10th place is Rudolf Stein, my apologies, but he's been hounded all the way by Van Oosenen, who looks like he's about to get the move done as they come out of Renault, come up to the Repsol corner, and he's already ahead. So it's a great overtaking
That looks
opportunity.
like that's Miles Dixon, actually, that, isn't it? I don't know what's
Oh, my
happening. You know,
apologies. Yes.
Van Oostenen had already got past and through. That's Dixon making a good recovery from his tricky qualifying.
I think the ladder hadn't quite updated, and I'm still getting to grips with some of the drivers' names as everything's frozen on my end.
Yeah, here too as well. So just whilst we're waiting for that to happen, I'll just check in with the chat. Oh, last chat was right out. Desperately hoping for Johnny to spin it on the warm-up lap, but it didn't happen this week. So congratulations, Johnny. But yeah, it looks like the pro guys are starting to move forwards as our technical wizard in the background tries to get everything up and going again. We will be back as quickly as possible, but the top 4 places are now pros, so it didn't take them long to move back to the front, did it?
No, it didn't. They're pros for a reason, and the track has dried out, and they can really show what they can do. As we'll only be able to talk for a while because as we have this sort of space-time anomaly where nothing's happening because the black hole has moved too close to the virtual planet. Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. I could say Chris Martin's in 7th, but that might have changed by now. So
anything could have changed right now. I mean, it's probably worth just reminding ourselves of the format tonight. There is one mandatory pit stop for these guys out there. So you see on the timing tower, you've got that orange number 1 block. That means that they are yet to take their mandatory stop. When that goes green, it means that they have taken their stop. So I'm sure Dan will get us back to the action as soon as possible. So don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
So everyone else can see the action, just not us.
Oh.
Excellent. Okay, so it's working on the stream.
Yes, the stream's working, just the broadcast through Discord's not working at the minute.
That's true. Yeah, I've just got the Twitch website up, and obviously there's a delay on the stream, so what we're commentating will be slightly out of time now compared to what we'd have in our studio, as it were. Oh, so we're following Dirk Botha at the moment in 6th position. We'll have more accurate commentary hopefully soon when our Discord and in-race streams come back online. Dirk Botha leading the silver class at the moment, but it is decent with the fastest lap of the race. He's less than a second behind Mansi.
Yep, you'll have to bear with me whilst I load the Twitch stream on my side.
It's like having to buy tickets to go watch the event that we're commentating on effectively. Like commentators that have been locked out of our own commentary booth, and they've just gone, no ticket, no entry. And we're like, oh crap, we've got to just be one of the audience now. So that's an interesting way of doing things. Ralph Vest for Apex Driving School coming out the last corner. We've got a nice string of cars. Everybody's settled down really, keeping in single file, slipstream, most effective way of driving down the straight. I mean, I say there's a lack of action, but everyone's settling down into the rhythm now. As I'll just see, we can see a Windows desktop. Everyone out there shouldn't be able to see it. And I think our expert from KDAN Computers has got things working again, and the space-time anomaly has been rectified.
I'll tell you what, thank goodness for KDAN Computers, eh?
Thank
Not
Lord,
only can they build a phenomenal PC for you or source your components for you, but also they can fix things our end as well. So well done, KDAN. Well done, Dan. I think we're all trying to hear what that is in the background.
Yes, we were.
Sounds exciting.
Can we get an audio boost on that? Because it sounded like a driver very unhappy, or somebody's got the TV on the background and it's...
Yes, the TV's on in the background, so that's just been turned down slightly.
Oh, sorry, I thought that was one of our drivers who was absolutely irate with anger, going, no, someone cut me up and they did this.
But Dan, can we just flick to the lead 2 drivers? They're separated by only 0.3 of a second at this moment in time. Make that 1/10. So Beeson must be right with Mansi right now. He is, as they come towards the end of the straight. Beeson looking to the inside. This is a battle for the overall lead. Mansi won't give that up easily. They go side by side through turn 1 and 2. But it looks to me like Dylan Beeson has got that one done.
Wow, they were side by side for a lot of the way through that corner, and suddenly sort of Mansi came to a bit of a stop and Beeson pulled out quite a gap. So I'm not sure if Mansi had a bit of wheel spin, lost a bit of drive there, because I thought they'd come out the corner side by side as well. He sort of lost a lot of ground. But he's half a second behind now.
He did. It might just be that Mansi's not as good as we thought, really.
Don't say that whilst I'm drinking my tea. I nearly spat it out. It might just be that he's crap.
I can't wait for him to watch the stream back.
I don't know. I have to do a northern accent every time. Northern accents are just funnier. I don't know why.
There's something very funny though about this man Willie Black when he tries to do a northern accent. He is Irish as they come, and him doing a northern English accent is hilarious. Right now he is 15th overall, which is sort of mid-pack in the silver class. Looking for a way past Ralph Best though. Those two nose to tail, and you've got Ben Brown directly behind them, who he's making a solid recovery from starting right at the back of the field.
Yeah, he's sort of a dark horse there, a bit of a stealthy one. He's just really climbed up the field. So it would be great if we can keep an eye on him through this race. Ben Brown, who, as I'd like to remind everyone, he won the E-Team Brit GT Challenge AM class. He is a skilled driver, and whilst this field is bigger than what he competed in that series, yeah, it's incredible to see him coming up the field so quickly.
Well, he was a late entrant tonight after, as Dan said, he had to do a bit of a sprint back from Milton Keynes. But I tell you what, take a look at Willie Black. He is right on the back of Ralph Vest coming out of the final corner, and we know that Bentley's quick in a straight line. And here he comes, Willie Black to the inside as they head down towards turn one. Can he get it done? We're about to find out. As he turns in, Ralph gives him the run, and that is job done. Ben Brown wants to follow through.
Really does. That McLaren, they're really close behind, and he's looking around the outside.
Seville right behind. Yeah, sorry, Seville right behind Ben Brown as well, looking for a way past Ben. That one's for position in class. Ben tucked up behind the two silver class cars, the black and vest, but look at Seville looking for his way past Ben Brown as well.
Yeah, we know how fast Seville is. Obviously, he finished second at Kyle Army. He should be much further up there, and he knows that. So he's just making his way through the pack, and it's not going to take very long at this rate. And when it comes to Ben Brown, they are fighting for position, but the other cars in front, Vest Black and Van Rooyen, they are not fighting for position, as it were. As Ben Brown gets switched on, was there contact there, or did he just get a snap of oversteer? He's managed to save it with the recovery mode. He did break some of those polystyrene barriers, so we'll have to charge him for those.
Yep, that's $4.99, please, Ben. Is this a replay here, Dan? Yep. So we've got a replay here of Johnny Ashley. So Ben was at. There's Ben just up the road. So I think Ben just got a snap of oversteer. I don't think there was any particular help, but yeah, Johnny would have been yelling, "Watch the rejoin!" at that moment in time, as Ben came back on track. But no harm done there.
Lost it in nicely, sort of. But yeah, so we saw a cloud of mud go up. I don't know if that was Ben Brown just catching the mud, which was the start of his sort of excursion. But
yeah, I think Ben caught the dirt on the outside of the corner, probably right on the braking zone.
I think so,
or lift-off zone, at least depending on whether he's hitting the brakes or not for that right-hander. As we just saw Jonathan Seville getting past Ralph Vest, so he will now set about chasing after Willie Black and then Van Rooyen. Before he can then start to think about some of the other pros a little bit further up the road.
That's it. The next few cars should be fairly simple pickings for him. He won't be challenged again until he reaches 13th, which is where Women is at the moment in the BMW.
And there you see Willie Black doing the Willie Black thing. Willie Black is like the Willie Black thing is that he is very, very particular about there is no point in fighting people from different classes. So Willie just lets Seville go, which is exactly what I expected him to do. And it means that Willie can now continue to focus on his fight. He doesn't need to get caught up in a battle with Seville. So he blended out the throttle and let him go. That's the Willie Black way.
Yeah, if we could all learn a thing or two from Willie Black when it comes to racing.
Do you know what? I've had quite a few on-track battles with Willie over the last couple of months, and I have never come across. Whoa!
Whoa!
Wow, nice lag as Johnny's car takes off like it was on a runway. That was
Another one of
very
those
strange.
space-time continuum problems that seem to plague Barcelona at the moment. I think the
Oh,
weather
just-
report did sort of warn of like black holes and strange things happening over the circuit. He seems okay now, so
Yeah, although Ben Brown has
Yeah.
backed out, so I don't know whether Ben has just got spooked by all of that. Johnny runs off track, but I was just saying, Willie Black is one of the fairest racers I've ever raced with. We were side by side for almost an entire lap at Imola, not so long ago. It was great fun, and you can trust making a move on Willie because it's going to be safe. He's going to give you the room, but he's going to race you hard. Great stuff.
yeah, I have sort of similar sentiments from racing Ben Brown in the past, and he's a driver that I implicitly trust not to take me out as well. Recently, I've been trying a different race game called Circuit Superstars, and that is a game where everyone just takes you out. So
Well,
that's been my experience recently.
whilst I am very much peg-legged, obviously I can't use my pedals, so I've dug out the old Xbox gamepad, and just about the only thing that I can find entertaining to drive on the gamepad is Wreckfest, and I just need to make sure I don't learn too much from that whilst I'm out of racing.
Yeah, I've not heard of Wreckfest, but I mean, I get the idea. It's maybe a demolition derby burnout style game.
Yeah, basically it's a fest of wrecks. So,
Really?
yeah. It's like Ron Seal, does what it says on the tin.
You should. It's like you're like Baldrick's dictionary, aren't you? What is a dog? Not a cat.
Well, let's go back to Willie Black, because I think he had a cunning plan there, just to stick with the Baldrick reference. It looked to me like he was about to get past Van Rooyen, and he is up the inside into turn one. So, will they play ball and get this one done fairly? The old switcheroo from Van Rooyen in the background there, and he then goes around the outside of Willie Black and gets that done. But we are now looking at, so Van Rooyen got back through. And then that looks like Ralph Vest getting in on the action, and he wants to take a position back from Willie Black to the inside now, and Willie will live to fight another day. But he needs to be more concerned about the fact that Johnny Ashley is closing in on him.
Yeah, you lose so much time battling, and I think he just went into the back of him there. He sort of came to a
You're
stop
absolutely
corner
right.
at Sayer and just sort of went into the back of him.
He did, and Ralph Vest has obviously lost out. So, and we've got Rudolf Stein off track, but returning back on. But that was pure commentator's curse. You know, I go and say that Willie's one of the fairest racers possible, and then he goes and shoves it into the back of another car and spins him around.
How could you? And here's Rudolf Stein, was it? Looking at a replay, he just seems to. Let's see, he seems to go right through the chicane. Maybe he's just taking a bit. Oh, he's just lost the back end, so he's gone left and struggled to get the car turning right.
Really well.
He did very well. I've already seen one of those tonight on iRacing where it just ended with the car in the barrier. So well done to Rudolf Stein, and he's managed to hold on to his 15th position as we're back with Seville now, who's making his way through the field. And as I said, he's come up to in 11th, Vimmen in the number 56 BMW. Is he going to get it now? He thinks better of it, backs out, and he's have to try again later. But he's going to have to do it soon because we're under an hour to go now.
We have an interesting train building as well, which is Stein and then Stack, Black, Ashley, Vest, and Watatatus as well. As you see, Willie Black trying to get past Stack. The Stack and Black is a regular battle as well, and Johnny Ashley will be looking for the scraps off the back of this one. Willie to the inside. D-Stack tries to hold around the outside, but Johnny will be very interested in that.
He's going to be on the outside.
Go the long way round.
Yeah, he's going to be on the outside now through Sayer. I thought he was backing out, but he's holding it. He's holding his line. The Vaseline 911 is squeezing him, but the 911 is ahead. Derek Stack And there's a bit of a slowdown there at the chicane as they're
So that's
battling.
Stein, and has Willie Black all over the back of him now. We're looking from Derek Stack back towards Johnny Ashley. Johnny will be looking for a dive into the next corner, but Willie's to the outside of Stein. And look at Watts trying to get through past all of them on the inside. But Johnny thinks better of it, backs out, and he's got to be careful of Ralph Vest right behind him as well. We know Ralph has got the pace tonight, but Stack now right on the back of Black again.
I can't do it. I need these cars to change places just so we're not sort of having this rhyming slang going on constantly of Stack is back with Black and
Stack on the back of Black, yeah.
And he's a bit cack and anything that rhymes. This doing my head. They seem to spread out a little bit now. Shane seems to have got his foot down. Black following. He's pulled out a little gap from Stack, who is under pressure again from Ashley. I don't know if he's going to make a move. He's going defensive though. He didn't get worth to go defensive, but
if I had Johnny Ashley in my mirrors, I'd be driving defensive as well.
I'd stack it if I had Dan Hyde behind me.
Hey.
Cheap shot.
But talking of stacking it, D-Stack is still holding Johnny off, although Johnny moves to the inside. But he needs to be careful that he doesn't leave a gap for Ralph Vest to just go through.
Somebody... Was that Watts just straight off the track back there?
It was indeed.
Or was it Jelinek? Because he seems
it was definitely Watts.
Let's see, we've got a replay here now. We're following Jelinek in the Ferrari. That's Watts in front of him in the NSX. And do they take each other off? Because they are side by side. So they're coming up to the Repsol corner now. He's looking up the inside.
Yeah, there's contact. There's contact.
Come off. A clumsy overtaking manoeuvre at best, it seems. He maybe wasn't...
I mean, that was a Hamilton Rosberg if ever I've seen one, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely agree. And very fitting, as it's the same race circuit it happened on. As Derek Stack now making his way past Vest. Although it looked like Vest went a little wide there.
Well, actually, what this means is that Johnny Ashley has got past D-Stack at some point on this last lap. So Stack has dropped back away from Black now, as I try and keep it up. But Johnny Ashley now can see the back of Black once again and will try to chase him down.
Well, as long as the chat doesn't give you flack for talking about Stack and Black and
as we see Black move to the inside of Stein. Going to need Rudolph to play ball there, but they go side by side through turns 1 and 2. As they go into 3, 2 different lines, and one will be quicker than the other through here.
It's very risky to be on the outside because your opponent on the inside can understeer into you, so it does put you in a vulnerable position. He's braked early to get the switcheroo, although it looks like he's just he's gone in too deep. He's gone off the track there.
And now he's got Johnny Ashley side by side with him. So Black and Ashley side by side into this next corner. This is the rivalry to end all rivalries, this one between these two. They always end up side by side on track at some point during a race. And tonight is no different as Johnny really tries to heap the pressure onto Willie, who will be trying to clean those tyres up after running deep earlier on in the lap.
And as you can see on your screen now, the pit window is open. It has just opened. Yes, sorry, Dan. Down to you in the pit lane.
We've probably missed Jimmy Mansey losing second position. He's now in third.
That's a very good point. We got so excited by all the battles in the midfield that we've missed the fact that Beeson has pulled away to a 4-second gap from now Alex Shahabi, with Jimmy Mansey dropping down to third. Martin Thorpe is almost nowhere to be seen as we've got... that's a rejoin.
Oh, women, what are you... Oh, and now, no, stop the car. Put the brakes on, buddy. Oh, dear.
And he's managed to wipe out, amongst others, Willie Black there.
There is going to be several claims afterwards for penalties and... Yeah, what has happened here? I think we've got a replay up at the moment.
Yeah, so this is watching Veman as he comes into the final sector. I think there's I think because that looked all like red mist, so I think there's going to be some contact into the chicane. that I think is Seville behind him, recovering through the field.
So there was a
And
large gap for him to go for, and he's just been clipped. So he's been hard done by the Mercedes. He's tried to quickly sort of 360 spin it,
but then lost patience and just drove into 4 or 5
Yeah.
cars at once. So
I think
yeah.
you're right with the red mist analysis of the situation. He just either he couldn't see or just sort of just screw this. I need to get going again. I'll take the chances that it's clear. And he collected several other cars and was just screaming, "Put the brakes on!"
It's one of those situations that has gone from an unfortunate incident that has cost him a little to something that is probably going to cost him a lot. I mean, you know, I certainly won't do the incident panel's job for them, and I'm part of the incident panel, but that kind of rejoin and that kind of impact on multiple cars will see just about the harshest penalty that can be given.
Do you think there'll be a penalty for the I didn't spot who actually, but the chap who spun him round? Do you think there'll be a penalty there, or would that be a racing incident?
That's one that would need multiple replays, and the instant panel are very, very specific in saying we need a replay from both drivers' positions. They need to see the inputs from the HUD as well.
Dixon go for a move here.
Great move as well. He's got that one done.
Fantastic move on Suckling.
So yeah, they're very specific about having the HUD as well, so they can see the inputs, and they need to see it from both drivers' point of view in the replays that get submitted to them, and only then can, on that kind of instant, you can make a decision.
Can they change the rules as they deem fit, or during the middle of a race or anything? No.
No, this isn't the UK government. They can't just change the rules as they go.
Oh, see, I was making a Formula One reference, but British government works as well.
Indeed, it does. Indeed, it does. So, are we watching a replay here, Dan? Has something happened that we've missed?
To support it. Unfortunately.
I'm not sure the replay's caught it. He was slow coming out the chicane there, Shane Watts, wasn't he, in the NSX? But we didn't see the cause of it.
It was, and Alex Parkin is right behind him. So I don't think we've seen anyone take their pit stops as yet.
Can't contradict you there.
Oh, as we see, that's Mansi
in
and Van der Veen as well. No disrespect to Heike van der Veen, more significant that Jimmy Mansi's in. He's obviously thinking that maybe an early stop might help him get a little bit closer to Shahabi and Beeson again, because Jimmy's been uncharacteristically off the pace tonight. I say off the pace, he's still running third, the kind of position that I could only dream of, but yeah, by his very high standards, slightly off the pace tonight.
So that you can dream of even when you have two legs?
Yes. Yeah, I could barely dream of a podium in AM in this series. I was actually supposed to be in AM, and Johnny said that he thought I had a very good chance of fighting for the title in AM, but it was not to be.
No, you went out in massive heels and then hurt your ankle, so that was your fault. We're just reaching halfway through the race, just over 45 minutes left to go. If you're enjoying the stream and enjoying our commentary, don't forget to drop a like or a follow or subscribe, however Twitch does things these days.
Or get your bits out. Share your bits.
Get your bits out, yeah. Or you can encourage Dan to twiddle some more knobs. Just share with friends. Let us know how we're doing as a commentary team and how you feel the drivers are doing. If you're having a good time, let us know, and it helps us enormously.
Absolutely. I mean, kudos, by the way, to Sam Roughton that we were just following there, as we see Ralph Fest leaving the pits. You know, Sam is driving a flawless race at the moment. I hope that's not commentator's curse at any point. You know, 6th, 11th overall. So Sam was second on the grid, but in the AM class, he got the better of the track conditions in qualifying. Put it way above all of the other AM drivers in second, and his aim tonight is just to stop the likes of Hurst and Samoas, the two cars that you see on the timing tower with the red blocks on their name, they're fellow AM drivers. His task is really to keep those guys from catching him. So he's doing a great job so far and retains the lead in AM.
That's why we love motorsport. Unlike football, where a team can have a 7-0 lead and they're pretty safe with that, motorsport can change in the blink of an eye. Someone can go from first to last instantaneously. Well, not quite instantaneously, but you know what I mean? And that's why we love motorsport. So we get these underdog performances. I know it's a cliche, but you get these AM drivers out driving themselves and their machinery and, you know, showing us what they can do when the conditions are unpredictable. And, you know, I speak for everyone, I think. That's why we love motorsport, whether it be virtual or in the real world.
Absolutely, as we see a Lamborghini really struggling there as it was trying to get past Derek Stack's Vaseline car as Jim Allen, who's on the recovery mission tonight. We're also now seeing a replay of, I believe, Miles Dixon we're looking at there. Another driver trying to recover from tricky qualifying.
We would say behind Chris Martin, we're just hearing from Dan Hyde. And what's happening is
Or Dan Kravitz, as we now call him.
he's very close behind him. Was there contact?
I think we're about to see a send into the hairpin.
Into Lacacia.
Go, and it's a solid move. Well done.
That would have been textbook. I'm gonna ask everybody watching. I'm gonna spin out. That's Stein. No, he's been going so well as well.
I wonder. I think he's probably going to dive straight for the pits.
So we're just watching a replay. What happened? It'd be wise of him to use that time to dive into the pits.
He's already in there anyway, pretty much. So he might as well.
So it's hard to see the other cars in this angle, but
big nod in the
chat.
chat.
The hairpin in Lacacia. He's tried to look down the outside. He's got the Vaseline 911 going up the inside. Started this replay quite far back, haven't we? Can't see. We're not there yet. Where he
and it's going to cut off before we get to the replay.
It's a...
But he did go into the pit. Sensible man. I was just saying, big nod in the chat. He's obviously continuing his battle with Rydav just by stating "wedge it, punk." I don't know what those words mean, but it sounds good.
How old are you, Adam?
37.
I'm 35, so maybe we're not hip enough to, you know. I have a friend who says that's dope, and it sort of takes me a moment to, oh yeah, that's a positive thing now.
Isn't that a type of paint?
Dope? I'm not sure.
Yeah, Jonathan Seville sets a new fastest lap, by the way, before we end up talking about the other type of dope. I'm getting ourselves a Twitch strike.
I want to start not a swear jar, but I want to put a coin in a jar every time you say absolutely.
I can't think of anything else to say now apart from absolutely. It's amazing. Everyone has their comfort words.
Yeah, like a sort of verbal tick, sort of a word that you fall back on. I'll listen back and I'll hear what mine is, but if someone can tell me what my word is that I fall back on.
So I used to work for an American company and do training for them, and every now and again, the global training team would be together in the US, and we would do sort of presentations in front of each other and things like that, and we'd all figure out what each other's comfort words were, and you'd have a glass in front of you and a spoon, and every time somebody used their comfort word while presenting, everyone would just go ding, it became quite amusing in the end, but everyone has them.
Everybody does. I knew someone who they'd return to saying, legitimately. They'd say legitimately. Everything was legitimately. I'm like, you don't need to, I believe you. Oh, we're back with Jimmy Mancy. He's had his pit stop, so that is why he is down his 16th. I don't think he's had a spin or anything. He's one of the few drivers now with the green marker by his name, and he's coming up against old Shane Watts in the Honda NSX.
So I love that you've adopted that now as well. WVO up to 7th, which is second in class. So good
Just
job
had a
there. James
disconnect.
Suckling continues to hold the lead.
Van
That's
Ulten's just
Alex
got...
Harvey just exiting the pits. Sorry, Dan.
I believe someone disconnected. I'm not sure who it was. They went
Ooh.
from very high up to very low. I can't find who it was.
Oh, is it Shahabi?
No,
He's down.
Shahabi's just been to the pits.
Oh, it was still saying that he hadn't pitted on my screen with a little 1, so I thought if he's still having his pit stop, maybe it's not triggered, but it...
That's Shahabi on track right there. But you're right, it isn't saying that he has taken his pits, but we did just see him exit the pits. Now, remember, this situation happened last week as well. And I can't remember which driver it was, but we had a driver
Kelly.
it was Christian Kelly, thank you, who took their pit stop, but it didn't register. In the end, the instant panel reviewed so much footage and determined that he genuinely did take his pit stop. So maybe the same thing has happened to Alex Shahabi here, because we definitely saw him leaving the pits, but it hasn't registered.
That would be a shame because he's been having a fantastic race this evening. He's been going so well.
Oh, a bit of a sideways moment. He's trying to make his way back through past some traffic. And Big Nod, Nightbot's always in a mood. Yes, I saw that you had
He's
some
decided
simple
to pit
spam.
again.
And
So
yeah,
he's in the pit. So unless he had picked up a drive-through, maybe, and that's what he was serving first.
I'm not
Talking
sure.
of penalties, we see an SG30 for Jovan Kovacic, aka Rolling Thunder.
That is the first name I've heard. That's the first time I've heard you mention that name. There are some drivers that we obviously, some drivers get more airtime than others, and we try to distribute everyone's airtime equally. But there's some drivers, they'll just sort of be in the lower ranks now, have their own uneventful race that we don't get to see so much from them, such as Kovacic and Bokamp, and Louis Figueroa Senior as well.
And you make a good point of mentioning the name Bokamp, because what on earth is going on with Bokamp tonight? He is normally super quick, but he's right down the back, and I think I just saw it flash up that he's 3 laps down, so he must have had a pretty
Mancy going
eventful
past him, or Mancy lapping him, I suspect.
So Daniel Bokamp having a really difficult time out there tonight.
He is, but if a driver's, some of these drivers I don't know, if they're new to racing, they'll have their own personal victories of, I'm glad I finished the race, I'm glad I wasn't last. And it's very important for new drivers and experienced drivers, or drivers who could have disabilities as well, that they take those personal victories. So I'd never put down a driver for sort of running at the back of the field. We don't know what's going on in their lives, and we, applaud them for taking part.
Absolutely, and do you know what? One of the best things.
In the jar.
Oh, damn it!
Sorry, go
on. We had the fantastic rookies race the other night that was live on stream. If you didn't catch it, it's well worth watching that stream back, either on Twitch or on YouTube. And during that stream, there was an incident at the start of race 2 that took out a lot of drivers, but every single one of them pitted, were a lap down, but they came back out on track and they finished the race. That's exactly what we all want to see, is people racing as much as they can. So yeah, absolutely fair play to anyone and everyone who is working their way at getting better and better. And we've seen proof of that just lately. I mean, some of the driver improvements that there's been over the past year have been absolutely staggering. So keep at it and you will move forward.
It exists on different levels, and that's why people could go enjoy Man United play Manchester City, and the next week they might go and watch Dover Athletic go and play. Sport is enjoyable at all different levels, as we've had an off there. Johnny Ashley, we've got the blue flag out, and I saw bits of polystyrene jumping across the track.
Oh, that's gone a long way back on the replay, so I'm not sure we're going to catch it, are we, Dan?
No, that's most of the lap back.
Okay, well, we'll see. This is Johnny Ashley, who, for those of you who don't know, is the big boss man here at oNiD. He is the community owner.
He's not Dog Juice, is he? Who's Dog Juice?
Dog Juice is Graham Jackson. And
Ah.
I forgot to get the answer to the Dog Juice story. I've had quite a bit going on this week and just completely forgot.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Johnny is. No, it didn't catch what happened, unfortunately. But he's 19th. He's dropped back behind Ralph Vest and just ahead. Did he drop it all by himself?
Just a bit of like real oversteer and just it careened into the wall. It looked like he got it slowed down enough not to absolutely crumple the car up. Sorry, I was just finishing off eating a biscuit there. I'm British, of course. I've got
you need to inform us what type of biscuit.
They're not British though. I think they're German. They're called Balsen Schoko Leibniz.
Oh, Schoko Leibniz.
They sound very fancy, don't they?
Yes, they do. Are they chocolatey?
Yes. They've got a dark chocolate base, a dark chocolate biscuity base with a white chocolate topping.
You like the base.
The buttery biscuit base.
As we see Ben Brown making a move on Sam Rout, and Sam quite happy to let that one go. Alex Depper is momentarily up into the lead in AM, but hasn't taken his pit stop yet. So Sam is still the leader.
That's it. As you can see on Ben Brown's car, he has a logo B22R. If you want a livery done for your car, you can get in touch with Ben Brown. I'm sure he'd appreciate the business. He designs liveries for ACC, iRacing, rFactor 2, all sorts. So I'm sure he won't mind me giving him a plug there, as we've got the sort of Cadbury's coloured Martin Thorpe into the pit lane.
Martin with his standard purple and gold coloured car. It's the colour scheme that he goes for everywhere he races.
It does make me feel like a Cadbury's caramel.
I'd love one of those right now. God,
I don't know. Although they used to have the sexy bunny on the adverts, and sort of right-wing media is going mad about the green M&M at the moment. So God knows if they see a animated sexy rabbit.
Well, as long as they don't watch Roger Rabbit and catch Jessica anyway, let's move on. Just checking back into the chat. Rusty Plastic is regretting not signing up for this chat. It's Miles Dixon. I hope that is not Miles Dixon pulling over and quitting out of the race.
I didn't spot that. I looked down to pick up a biscuit and I see he's just parked there on the inside of the chicane at the last corner.
Miles, unfortunately, did this last week as well, so we'll be on a warning for quitting out of races early. So hopefully he's just having a breather and we'll be getting going again. But that looked to me like he has got going again. So good. So maybe there was just a hardware issue or something like that. As we see, Van Oosenen has picked up an SG30, so that's a disaster for him.
He's still 12th though, Dixon. He's still coming up 12th, so it looked like he was stopped there quite a while, but he's managed to keep the place. I've never seen a driver that brazen about, I'm just going to stop, take a break. I know I won't lose the place. And wow, did Van Oosenen take that round the outside there from, was that on both though? It took him round the outside of Repsol. Fantastic move, if that's what he did. The Beamer's coming back at him. I thought I saw a little bit of contact, but now Van Oosenen's having to go defensive because it looks like or is that Dixon?
No, it's not Dixon. Dixon is in the fluorescent yellow BMW, but Van Oosenen, trying to get as far forward as he can because he's got to serve this SG30 in the next couple of laps. So that's going to put him way down the order, unfortunately.
That's a shame. He's been having a good race because last week he finished down in 21st position. So this penalty might put him back down to sort of 21st position. So that'd be a shame because he's had a good weekend.
Absolutely has. Chris Martin, currently your race leader, but yet to stop. So he will not hold on to that. And I think Dylan Beeson is going to be your man. But Jonathan Seville pushing hard. Can we go to Seville? He's right behind Suckling and has just set a new fastest lap of the race. So this man trying to find a way past Suckling, different classes, but Seville still trying to get on the back of that pack, which is the first, second, third, and fourth pack.
Yeah, he had all four wheels. Looked like he had all four wheels off the track just to. Whoa! And it looked did be in the suddenly hit the brakes there in the middle of the straightaway because Seville has gone past. So Seville's gone past, but it looked like he was sort of brake checked there, and he had to like really twitch. He had to twitch the wheel to avoid an incident.
Maybe as much as anything, the differences in driving styles and braking points for a driver in the silver class like James Suckling and super alien like Jonathan Seville, those kind of differences can make it very difficult coming back through the field as he puts a lap on another car. So the next car that he'll be looking to make a position on is Willie Black and then Derek Stack, but those two have still got hit.
Yeah,
so effectively, Seville is up to fifth now, and on the back of the Martin Beeson, Mancy and Thorpe lead pack.
But Martin still has to pit as well.
Yeah, Chris Martin has to pit. Stack and Black. I believe they're the only three drivers left. As William Black, comes into the pits now to serve his mandatory pit stop. Number 11, Bentley, lovely purple owned racing livery, and he hopefully won't get a speeding penalty. It looked like he got slowed down in time for the speed limiter line, and he'll be serving his mandatory pit stop now as Derek Stack in the Vaseline 911 makes his way through corners 1, 2, and 3.
Team Vaseline, finish the name.
Team Vaseline, Tugging is racing.
There you go. Team Vaseline, Tugging is racing. D-Stack with a beautiful livery there. As we look at Louis Figueroa Senior, good job, sir. Still circulating nicely, and looks like you are keeping yourself well out of the way of anyone coming through. So that's some great stuff in the AM class. As we pick up Lasse Wiemann, who was the guy who had the interesting rejoin earlier, but he's trying to recover now. He's not last in pro class. That is this man, Alex Shahabi, who we know had to take 2 pit stops. So either it didn't register, or maybe somebody in chat suggested maybe he hadn't set the tyre change. But Alex Shahabi, unfortunately, was right up in the top 3, but is no more.
Beaucamp and Figueroa Senior need to be careful. They need to serve their mandatory pit stop in the next 5 minutes, and given their AM drivers, they could be less experienced. It's easy to forget such a thing when you're in the heat of the moment. It can be easy to forget if you've taken the pit stop or not. And it'd be a shame to see them hit with penalties. We support all of our drivers, no matter where they are on the circuit. And
absolutely.
As long as they're keeping out the way of the leaders, sorry. Don't mind how fast they are, as long as they're obeying blue flags.
DJ with the DT look. Graham Jackson, aka Dog Juice, and therefore DJ, picks himself up a drive-through. I can only assume for speeding the pits, as the lead singer of Coldplay exits the pits right in front of. That's not Seville. I think Seville has got past him. That's Suckling. Thank you, Dan.
I said it was Suckling.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
You were too busy going.
Absolutely.
Clink.
I'm now going to be really self-conscious about the
He's going to lie awake at night tonight, going. Absolutely. Damn.
No, I've got a simple way of fixing that. I'll just take more of my painkillers, then I'll be asleep.
That's one way to get to sleep. We don't condone that for all of our viewers. There are off the shelf products to help you get to sleep, or you can just binge some alcohol. That often does the trick for me.
Yeah, or you could fall over and break your foot and then be prescribed with painkillers.
I told you not to wear those shoes, but you didn't listen.
Absolutely. We seem to be watching a replay here. And it's Alex Shahabi getting past Jack Morel.
A great move there. Just sort of found a load of extra speed
Oh,
and
but
then
that thing going off.
he went off the track.
That was hardly going off. We
Oh,
just
no
saw, but there is
contact there,
contact there.
Shane
Yeah,
But that
that's
very kind of Veman to knock him back the right way.
Veman with the little tap. Go that way, my friend.
Yeah, he spun him round and then sort of gave him another corrective tap.
Beauchamp and Figueroa Senior yet to take their pit stop. 2 minutes 50 of the window left. Let's just go down to the pits with Dan Hyde. Dan, is it easy for drivers to forget to take their stop within the window?
You can mention this. It's very easy. I've
Is
done
it?
many times.
Have you?
Yes. I always blame technical issues.
Do.
That's always my issues.
Well, yeah, if I mess up, I blame something else.
I press a random button on the keyboard and then the pit window box disappears and then I can't see it, so I forget to pit.
I've just put a message out in the chat. We have 17 viewers, and I'm hoping that one of them is a friend of Beauchamp or Figueroa Senior, and I might be able to remind them, maybe on Discord audio chat or something, that they still have to pit. I don't have to do that, but I do that because that's the kind of person I am.
Very nice of you. That is very nice of you. If only you had have been around when Dan was racing on the multiple occasions when
I've raced Dan. I've raced Dan, and people have asked me, what was it like to race Dan? And I always say, I don't know. We were at different ends of the grid.
In one race.
I could tell you what it's like to race Dan.
He was very fair with blue flags. I kind of wish he held other people up for me, but he let us all by equally. So,
Dog Juice is in for his drive-through as we look at Figueroa Senior. So he is going to miss his pits because he's just gone round again, look, and hasn't taken to the pits. Is Beauchamp in? I don't think he is.
I suppose
but he's just coming round now.
If you're Figueroa Senior and you're running at the back, it doesn't hurt to get a penalty again, I suppose. Go into the pits, Daniel.
Oh dear. So Beauchamp and Figueroa Senior do not pit. They will both pick up 130-second penalties at the end of the race.
Peter Jelinek down at the hairpin, looking to make a move on Stack in the Porsche. It doesn't come off. He's having to sit tight behind as we return to Jimmy Mancy, who's returned to second place.
Yes, that was as a result of Shahabi.
Yeah, it was, and Shahabi is quite a way down the field now. As we're back with Jelinek, he's still trying to make his way past Stack, but Stack's going to try and make that 911 as wide as he can. There's only 22 minutes left, and the pit window, 10 seconds remaining, so Beauchamp is definitely not going to get back around the track and get in there in time for that. So, penalties ahoy.
So Jelinek trying to get the toe from Stack, but the gap a little bit too big. This is your leader in AM, Sam Roughton, who is still a fair distance ahead of second placed Gabby Samoas. So I said earlier that we expected Samoas to move up a little bit, and as we see, Jonathan Seville set a new fastest lap of the race, and we're going to see Rudolf Stein here, I think. The old switcheroo on the Lambo. And let's see what we're looking at here on this replay.
Is this for
obviously something?
Yeah, I think it is for position. There's no blue flags about.
It's a solid move that up the inside. The Lambo trying to hang on around the outside and move
he
back
must
to
have
the
done
inside. He must have done it up the inside at the next corner.
Yeah, Alan got it back. So, hats off to a great move there. Fair driving from both of them as well. We like to see, good amounts of respect between drivers.
And they've got Alex Parkin right behind them in the white and blue Bentley. We're back with Petter Jelinek following Derek Stack in that silver class battle. So your class leaders right now are... Dan, who's our leader in silver? Because we know Sam Roughton's leading AM. So the silver leader is James Suckling. And of course, Dylan Beeson, this man right here,
got a lot of traffic.
Overall leader, fighting his way through the traffic.
Graham Jackson's had a spin there at turn 3. He was facing the wrong way in the Tag Heuer Ferrari. Just going to a replay. So we've gone back quite a bit, but he was already getting his lines wrong back at the chicane.
No, that's just Dog Juice's line. That's fine.
He recovered from that. So we're going to have to wait for him to get down the entire start-finish straight before we see what happened. He's being hounded all the way by the other Ferrari. I can't quite tell who it is. In the Red Bull livery, if that helps giving you clues. So I don't think he was pushed. I think he sort of lost it of his own volition. Maybe he just got pushing a bit too hard. Yeah, he's lost it as he's gone over the sausage curbs that stop you cutting the corner.
He's spun on a patch of dog juice, I reckon.
Sorry, you just reminded me of a funny story that I heard the other day.
Let's not go there. But Graham continuing on quite nicely. So he's gathered his thoughts. Petr Jelinek now behind. That looks like...
That'd be Hurst. He's sort of forced him wide at the Lacacia hairpin. He sort of dummied him, made Hurst nervous, run wide a little bit, and Petr Jelinek easily takes that spot away from the Aston Martin. And Derek Stack now come up really quickly on the back of Gabby Simoes. I thought he was going to run into the back of him. He's much faster than him, but that is the difference between Silver and AM class. As somebody diving into the pit lane. The pit lane is closed. It wasn't Van Oosenen, was it? No, David Olive.
I wonder if he's picked up some damage, or he was particularly slow out of the chicane. Yeah, there's some damage.
Yeah,
that's worth the pit stop. So
he's popped the hood.
He has indeed. That Merc needs some TLC, and Stack has been passed by Petr Jelinek.
That kind of rhymes. And Van Oosenen making a move on Hurst as well. Hurst is losing places in the time it takes to say it.
Now, what we're looking at here, this is Willie Black. So he's 17th overall at the moment. He's right on the back of Rudolf Stein, which is a battle for position. So good pick up this one, Dan. Willie, we know, is probably a touch quicker because he was caught up in the incident with Veman earlier. So a little bit out of place is Willie, but he's trying to fight his way back up there, trying to use the extra power of the Bentley out of the corner to get alongside Stein.
Yeah, just try and intimidate Stein a little bit there as he just sort of moved around just to make himself visible in Stein's mirrors, just to say, I'm here, take notice of me more than the road in front of you, and hopefully he'll make a mistake. As we've got a gaggle of cars there as the light. We haven't got blue flags, have we? No, this is Alex Parkin, is it? And he's really holding up this group.
Parkin is the white and blue Bentley, but I'm guessing that the BMW they've just got past must be a back marker because of the way he moved out of the way. But Black will continue the hunt of Rudolf Stein.
That's right, he's lining up. Is he going to line up and overtake him? He jumps out going into turn 1, but Rudolf Stein covers him off and manages to hold on to that 17th position. So they stay as they are at the moment. Alex Parkin is in 16th and Stein in 17th and Willie Black in 18th. So it says 18th, but then down at the bottom right it says 17th. So I'm not entirely sure. As Willy Van Oosenen makes a move on Jelinek there. Great dive down the inside at Repsol. Covers him off. Jelinek has conceded that place.
Absolutely, and all of that taking place directly behind Gabby Simoes, who is second in AM class. Simoes trying to find a way past the back market, gets that one done. And yeah, Gabby is happy to try and keep these silver class cars behind, but then they send it up the inside. And see, this is why the interclass battling doesn't help anyone, because it costs them both time. And now Jelinek gets back past Van Oosenen, and Derek Stack lining it up as well. So I don't think Van Oosenen will be too happy with Gabby Samoas there.
But it's making for some great on-track action, and for us as viewers and commentators, this is great stuff to watch. And that BMW, I'm not sure who it was, who was getting laps as slow as they were. They have been making a good effort to keep out the way of everyone, and I can't fault them for that. It just the side effect of it's making for great racing as people.
Here comes Van Oosenen. He's super close to Jelinek, pulls out of the toe, and will send it into turn one. Will then need to be careful that he's not too close to Gabby Samoas. He almost is. Looked like there might have been a touch of contact. Gets around the outside of Samoas now, and Samoas now lets him go and lets Jelinek go as well. And he might just let Derek Stack go as well. All of these guys fighting in different classes. As you see Jimbo Mansi behind them, now trying to come through and put a lap on all of them.
Yeah, it's a great move there from Wilbert Van Oosenen, I would say. That's fantastic, opportunistic. He got the car slowed down in time not to hit the BMW, and then took him around the outside of turn 3. We just ticked on 15 minutes left to go of the race now, so home stretch, last 15 minutes. If you know, and Ben Brown's moved up to 10th place. When we last looked at him, he was in 17th, so he's moved up another 7 positions. And got to remember that he started from the back of the grid, so this is a fantastic performance. He's in the top 10 and miles ahead of Alex Parkin, who's his next sort of rival behind him in class. And it looks like he's only, I can't see a time. We've got Jim Allen off the track there.
Jim's had a really difficult night. You know, he started from the pits, I believe. So he's had a really, really tricky night here at Barcelona, and we're about to see him get into some more trouble. This is a replay, not live. Thank you to Dan queuing this one up back in technical HQ.
Oh,
He drops it all by himself. That's just them Lamborghini machines.
I think he just caught the front wheels in the mud a bit, and the car just sort of pirouetted on that point.
So Willie Black has got ahead of Rudolf Stein. I think Dan is queuing it up. This is going to be down into T1.
It looks like it'll be a textbook maneuver. Just slipstream, pull out, go past, tuck back in, neatly done.
And how much Stein decides to battle him.
He does try, but
he's textbook. You're absolutely right. Good job, Willie.
Well done, Willie.
Can't believe I've praised Willie so much tonight. It's making me feel a bit ill, to be honest. These things shouldn't be said out loud.
As we've got 12 minutes left to go, it'd be interesting to see how our front runners are getting on. After all, they will be earning the big points today.
Indeed, they will.
Parkin, who's sort of the midfield runner in class at the moment. We're on board with Dylan Beaton now. Thank you very much, Dan. And he is 20 seconds clear of Jimmy Mansi. And he's just coming up on the back of a McLaren. I'm not sure. Is that Vest? Could be Vest?
Yeah, that'll be Vest. I tell you what's going to be worth watching is let's just keep our eyes on the gap between Thorpe and Seville. It's 3.8 now. But Seville is the fastest out there on track. So just keep an eye on that gap. Can Seville close Thorpe down and fight for a podium towards the end of this race?
I like that Vest indicated that he used the right indicator on the car as if to say, go that way, Beeson.
I love using my indicators when people are lapping. I just think it just gives people a bit of confidence that you have definitely seen them. So good job, Ralph. And I say about Seville and the gap on Thorpe, also worth keeping an eye on the gap between Mansi and Thorpe. That's down to 2.1 now. So
that could be, yeah, as we come into the last 10 minutes, that would be a real battle to keep an eye on, because there'll be some, possibly like some last minute do or die maneuvers. Thank you very much, thank you very much, Mad XX05 for the follow.
Absolutely. There he is again. Come on. Let's just switch to. I just said the A word again.
Oh, I see.
Can we just switch to Petr Jelinek, please? Because he's nice and close to Van Oosenen once again. So there he is, right behind that red and black Bentley. So Jelinek looking for a way back past Van Oosenen. I don't know as if he's going to be close enough for ascending to Lakaisha, but he will be looking to stay as close as he can to that Bentley to have a go into T1 as Van Oosenen runs a little bit deeper.
I feel like we've seen a lot of overtakes from Jelinek, but has he actually gone up the field, or has he?
I think he's overtaken, then dropped back, and then overtaken again.
Yeah, so... he's made so many overtakes, but just seems in the same place every time.
Yeah, now we have got a car stopped out on track. Oh, it's got going again.
Was that car number 14?
Yes.
That will be Bokamp, one of the...
Stein again. Stein has had a really tough time tonight. A few unfortunate incidents. Jelinek has dropped back a little bit on Van Oosenen now, but not a huge amount. So that one will continue to rumble on for sure.
Oh, we've got Sam Broughton going side by side there, although it looks like he just lets...
Sorry to interrupt, but Thorpe is now within 0.6 of Mansi for second.
Oh,
so the battle for second is down to 0.4 now. So Thorpe is really pedalling hard, trying to close up Mansi. And I tell you what, if these two start to battle, then Seville will catch them at the rate of knots, because the gap back to Seville is down to 3.1.
And we had a new follower there. I didn't catch the name. I think it was like Harmful Glue or something. But thank you very much for the follow all the same.
Absolutely.
Every time you say it, you're internally wincing at yourself, aren't you?
Yes.
Oh, what a battle we've got on for the podium places. No, for the second podium place between Jimmy Mansi and Michael Thorpe in the BMWs.
Yeah. Thorpe is a ridiculously quick driver in anything you put him in. Cross-platform as well. Martin races with us on Assetto Corsa and Race Room and ACC as well, and everything that he touches turns to fast.
Sorry, I called him Michael. Sorry.
That's all right. It began with an M. You could have called him Adolf or something. It's not too bad.
That's a name that's gone out of fashion, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm not sure there's many people giving that name to their babies these days. As we see, the gap to Seville has gone down to 2 seconds. So he is absolutely closing that gap, and I really emphasised the word absolutely then as well. But look at him directly behind now, so he can see nothing in front of him apart from Thorpe and Mansi. So this is about to become a second place three-way.
Yeah, and as these two fight, it just means that they can get closer into the battle as well as they fight with each other.
Yep, there's a McLaren there somewhere, hidden by the wing. The McLarens are so flat that they can be hidden behind a rear wing. But Seville, the gap down to 1.8 now. And I think it's going to be even less than that. But Thorpe, right on the back of Mansi. These two BMWs are going hard at it now as they come in towards the final sector of this lap with 7 minutes to go.
Thorpe last week, he finished fifth place, so he really wants that podium because he's not had one yet. Beeson and Mansi have been on the podium, and it looks fairly safe that Dylan Beeson's going to be on the podium on the top step again. So, yeah, I think Thorpe wants this more than anything.
Gap to Seville down to 1.1. It looks even less than that now. And most significantly, look at that pack of traffic that they're about to hit. And you're absolutely right. Martin late on the brakes into the chicane, and Seville could be a bigger problem for him now than trying to chase Mansi.
Thank you, SOB, in the chat. Second place freeway sounds like a tricky bedroom maneuver.
Yes.
I wouldn't know. I'm chronically lonely.
Oh.
For just £2 a month, you can sponsor me to not be lonely.
Yes, I wondered what you were about to say then for £2 a month. Meanwhile, Jonathan Seville looking for a way past Martin Thorpe, and I tell you what, Jimmy Manti will be breathing a sigh of relief for a minute that Thorpe has got his mirrors full of Seville rather than being focused on his bumper.
Yeah, these back markers, they're going to approach them in the next minute or two, and this could really change up the race. We can't do the Michael Massey thing and sort of tell them to get out of the way, unfortunately, but it makes racing all the more exciting, and it's unpredictable finish. I wouldn't want to predict what the last two steps on the podium are going to be, because Martin Thorpe now really having to defend going into the hairpin. He's keeping to his racing line.
He makes the move, though.
He makes the move. Is he going to make the corner?
Yes, he does. What a move that is.
What a move.
And he will now try and get after Jimmy Mansi. At the moment, Thorpe has gone from trying to get second to now being fourth on the road as Jonathan Seville moves up into the podium positions. They're not actually catching this pack in front of them as quickly as you might expect. They will be catching them, and that is going to be a factor towards the end of the race. And unfortunately, Alex Parkin has picked himself up a drive-through.
That is a shame. We've got a few more viewers now. Of course, the most exciting times of a race is at the very beginning and at the very end. So for you latecomers, we do welcome you. We've got a fantastic fight for the last podium places between Mansi, Seville and Thorpe. BMW, McLaren and BMW.
That McLaren looks so much better on its front end than the BMW. It looks like he can just put it anywhere he wants to right now. So Seville, he's the fastest driver out there. He has the fastest lap at the moment, recovering from a difficult qualifying session due to the changeable conditions out there, where it was wetter for the pro drivers than it was for the AMs and the Silvers. But Seville looking for a way past Mansi, and as these two start to battle, it gives Thorpe the chance to come back into it. But Seville is having to check up a little bit there.
Yeah, he's going to be feeling good because he's made the move on Thorpe, so he knows, how closely he can keep behind Mansi. He knows he's faster, so this is going to be helping his confidence and his ego. He knows that he's quicker, and he knows, and he might be able to make a move here. Thinks ducks back behind Mansi, thinks better of it. But now they really are on top of these back markers. I think that's Petr Jelinek in front of them. Very accomplished racer in his own right, but how will he deal with blue flag? Wonderful. He's just straight out of the way. He does not want to be the one to blame for influencing the result of this race. So good on you, Petr Jelinek.
Absolutely, and fair play to him, because oNiD, the blue flag rules are not like Formula One. We don't ask drivers to just jump out of the way. We expect the faster cars to actually make a move, and for the slower cars to allow those moves to happen safely. But some of these drivers, I think that's
Stein, yeah.
They, like you say, they don't want to influence this one. So this battle between Mansi and Seville, super close. Thorpe has dropped back off them a little bit. So it's very much a two-way at the minute rather than a three.
I wouldn't say. Whoa! Seville very close there, nearly touching the back of Jimmy Mansi. I thought he was going to run into the back of him. Jimmy Mansi's now got the two Bentleys fighting with each other. What a battle this is! We're very lucky to be witnessing this, because motorsport doesn't. He's going for the move in the chicane. We're looking back. Mansi's gonna, and they make contact.
Mansi runs out wide, and now Thorpe will try to go to the outside and gets that one done. So Thorpe makes the move as well. So Mansi drops 2 places in one corner.
He might feel a bit hard done by there. He might feel he was pushed out. So he might want that. He might want that looking at after the race. I wouldn't have said it was particularly dirty or anything like that. It looked fine from where we were watching, but from his view, he may feel a little bit hard done by. But he's only got a minute and a half now. They might get 2 more laps out of this race, but I wonder what emotions are running in the car at the moment, whether it's a calm, collected, just get back on track, or if if he's got the red mist now.
I think as well it'll be interesting to see whether he's got the pace to get anywhere back up towards Thorpe, because we know that Thorpe was catching him previously before Seville got involved in all of this anyway. So as we see Alex Parkin now
Disqualified.
Also, he didn't take his drive-through in time, I don't think. As we see the second drive-through of the night for Dog Juice Graham
Juice, yeah.
Jackson, and an SG30 for Jim Allen as well.
Can we return to our front runners?
Oh no! That's
What has
Seville.
happened? That's Seville
That's
facing the wrong
Seville.
way. Has he come together with Usanen, the back marker?
It looks that way to me, yeah. So
Usanen's coming around the corner there. He's got to clear these two Bentleys. None of them seem to be. You know, they don't have to leap out the way, but they do have to help facilitate a safe overtake.
Parkin's about to dive into the pits. Oh no, he doesn't. He gets disqualified somewhere around this corner. So we're going to see that white and blue Bentley disappear as he crosses the line.
There it goes.
Yes, there it goes. So this is Van Oosenen with second place Jonathan Seville directly behind him. I think this is going to happen in turn 3, the sweeping right-hander.
Although this 3K running so long could be the end of the race in a moment. We've got a winner, Dylan Beeson. So yeah, Seville's up there, and he's lost it on his own.
It's unfortunate. He's dropped it on the curb, and then into Wilbert Van Oosenen. So that's tough.
Apologies to Van Oosenen. We kind of assumed you were the guilty party because you were a back marker, but you were the innocent party in that. So
absolutely.
Yeah, sorry about that, Van Oosenen. And what a shame for Seville. He was so fast and he'd made some excellent overtakes. Mancy might feel a little bit vindicated. He gets his podium place back, and Thorpe will be ecstatic because this is his first podium. Last round in Kyalami, he came 5th. Now he's on the second step as Dylan Beeson doing some celebratory donuts.
Some gravel nuts. Yeah.
Gravel nuts. Oh, and I see it. Shadow the Hedgehog. That means he's edgy.
The what?
On the back of his car, did you not see it?
Oh, no, I didn't see it. No, sorry, I was looking at the timing tower to see if there were any close battles.
I see. No, his car's in black, red, and yellow. It has Red Bull on the front, and I just left it as that, Red Bull. But on the back, it has Shadow the Hedgehog, and that's for people who like Sonic, but they're edgy and cool.
Right.
And carry guns.
I'm so glad you were able to clear that one up for me because that would
Titanic weighs 45,000 tons. So
well, yeah, that was probably my favourite moment of the night actually. But
I can tell you the weight of other ships if you want to. Oh no, it was 52,000 tons.
Oh no, you actually got it wrong. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh dear.
I wasn't far off. I was thinking the Lusitania was 44,000 tons. But anyway,
what's 7,000 tons between friends? Absolutely nothing. But I tell you what, I mean, it was all a bit nuts towards the end. But we've had some really good racing to watch there again tonight, haven't we?
Yeah. Just looking through the chat as well. Apex Vest says beats Willie. Beats Willie after he spun me. I'm happy.
Oh dear.
Sentence. So, we've all got a hearty congratulations to our winner again, Beeson. That's 2 on the trot now. Martin Thorpe is 2nd, and Mancy is his 2nd, 3rd place in a row. Seville 4th, Martin 5th, Suckling 6th, Dixon 7th, Brown. So Ben Brown got to 8th place in the end. I'm struggling to read number 9 because the screen's small, but is it Eckert?
Yeah,
Eckert. Yeah, Grant Eckert, yeah, and then
Van Rooyen.
Van Rooyen, yes. Cammy, question for you. Now that the race is finished, who would be your driver of the day from the entire field?
I guess it'd be maybe too easy to say Beeson because he just ran away with the win again, but I'm absolutely impressed with how far Ben Brown moved up the field. I think he was the biggest mover, maybe apart from Seville as well. I suppose it's between Ben Brown and Seville. How about yourself?
I mean, those two both get a shout for me. Ben with a great recovery drive, and same for Seville as well, and providing some really good action. Shame that he kind of blotted his copybook towards the end. with a
shame upon his team.
Yes, but actually, my driver of the day has just joined the comms pod, and that is Sam Roughton. Sam, well done for tonight. Not only a win in Am, but just the fact that it all started so well in qualifying, putting it on the front row. What a night for you, sir.
Something I didn't expect, to be honest with you. Don't know what though. I'm going to say it was a bit of a shame not to have any rain, but you know.
Well, especially seeing as you qualified on the front row in the wet, I guess you were hoping for some rain. But am I right in thinking you kind of played the safe game tonight and didn't want to get involved in too many battles with people from different classes, and your focus was purely on winning the AM race?
Yeah, there isn't really any point, staying, trying to fight those out in a different class. They're racing their own race. I'm just trying to beat those in AM, aren't I? So there's no point, trying to fight with those lads. Just race my own race and hopefully find myself miles in front of the lads behind me, which I did.
Find
Really
yourself
great.
picking up any sort of useful, learning anything as you were running around with, much faster drivers in higher classes? Did you find yourself picking up new tricks, new lines, and finding yourself getting faster as the race went on?
Exactly that, if I'm honest with you. Like, even near the end, my tyres were absolutely gone in the final few minutes. But learning how to keep going, having to brake earlier in order to get it done. It was a learning curve today, but still enjoyable and still got the win, so it's all good.
Congratulations on your class victory.
Cheers.
And on what was a great mature drive.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
You, I've really enjoyed that for a second Sunday in a row. This World Series is producing some really good racing.
Some cracking drives out there as well. Really professional drives that, Le Mans Virtual would be jealous of, and they'd be lucky to have some of these drivers in some of those, like Team Fordzilla or Jean Lacey Academy or anything like those teams. They'd be lucky to have any.
They really would. And the one that they would be really lucky to have is the person who's won both of the first two races in the World Series, and that is Dylan Beeson. Dylan, what on earth tonight? I mean, that was easy for you, right?
Yeah, I think I got a bit lucky, to be honest, with I think Alex Shahabi would have been a lot closer, because both Jimmy got ahead, he got a really good start, and both and then Jimmy and then Alex passed Jimmy, and then I don't know what happened to him. He was, as we were getting towards the pit stop window, he was only 4 or 5 seconds behind me, and then he dropped off. So he must have had some sort of incident, and then from there, when there's no pressure, it's a lot easier just to drive to a consistent pace, and that's what I did. And yeah, it was good. I'm pleased with the win.
Absolutely. Well, Alex had to go through the pits twice, so either he forgot to set something for the first time around, or it didn't count, but he then had to go through the pits a second time. That's why he dropped back so much. And then you missed all the fun and games in the last few laps with the battle for second. So yeah, you had it easy out there. But just tell me a little bit about qualifying first of all, because it was really tricky for you guys in the pros, because it was a lot wetter by the end of the qualifying, and you did well to get yourself a lot further forward than a lot of the other pros. Did you just find your car was working well in the wet?
I think I just put in an absolute beast of a lap straight away, and I was really happy to get I think it was a high 52, given that the track was considerably wetter. So I think that had a part to play in, as soon as it was dry, and then one of my teammates was ahead and in the lower class, I felt fairly confident of getting a good result.
Well, great job tonight. 2 wins from 2. It sets you up well for the rest of the series. I struggle to remember where we race next week.
Suzuka.
Suzuka. So good one for you.
I love that track. Yeah, I love Suzuka. I've had good pace there, so I'm looking forward to it.
But to bring you back down to earth a little bit, neither of us put you as our driver of the day.
Well, I'll have to console myself with the 50 points.
We felt you drove amazingly, obviously, and you made it look so easy, but maybe it feels unfair. But driver of the day went to, we said Seville or Ben
Yeah,
Brown, they made
Johnny.
their way
I
up
don't know
through
what
the
happened
field.
to Seville, but amazing comeback from him.
It
That's
was
it.
an amazing comeback. Unfortunately, he got himself up to second, and then in lapping a driver towards the end, he took a little bit too much curb and dropped it into the back marker. So really unfortunate stuff. Back to a 45-minute race next week. So thank you, Dan, for throwing that up on the screen. It is Suzuka next week for a 45-minute. But Dylan, well done. Thank you
Thanks
for
a lot,
tonight.
guys.
We'll see you
Cheers.
next week.
All the best.
Dan, I don't know if we've got our silver winner joining us at all. Do we know?
Don't think so. I did put a shout out in Discord, but we've only got the other two winners so far.
Never mind. And we're down to 9 viewers now. We're losing them.
Well, in which case, it's probably about time for us to wrap it up then. Cammy, thank you for having me again tonight. It's been great fun.
Oh, it's always a pleasure commentating with you, Adam. I say we've not met in real life, but feel good friends now, and
Well,
we commentate and get along. Good chemistry.
Absolutely.
This has been oNiD Racing's ACC GT3 2022 World Series race, round 2 at Barcelona. I'm Cammy Sturch. You've been listening to Pegleg Adam, and your surname escapes me, I'm afraid.
That's all right. I just refer to myself as Adam D. Not my real name, but that's how people know me. But Pegleg is fine at the moment until I get this thing sorted.
And it has been Dan Hyde who's been looking after us all with the technical issues we had and the camera direction and everything. Our stream sponsored by simrace247.com, sim stuff, and CAD computers. We've been mucking through as best we can. Good night.
Good night.